After a disappointing loss in Game 7, uh, Gligoric had the white pieces and was not able to make any headway against Tal. Um, Now, we see here that Gligoric has returned to what he had normally played, which was knight c3, this Nimzo, and he had no problems. Uh, but neither did Tal. Tal was able to equalize and draw the game. So this brings us to game 9 here. And here Tal has the white pieces once again. And once again, we will see a return to the Smyslov variation. So, brave choice by Gligoric with the black pieces because he knows that Tal and his team have been working on this, before the match and during the match. And he still is going with his bread and butter. Basically, he's just like, hey, I'm going to dance with the one who I came with. So he's just sticking with the Smyslov variation. So Bishop E7, Rook E1, B5. Bishop b3. And again, you might think there's no reason why he should switch because it's not like he's been having trouble in the Smyslov variation. However, what I must say about it is that Tal has been always like basically having his pieces all swarming around um, the Black King in all the games where the Smyslov has been used. Yes, has Gligoric defended successfully? Yes, but those positions look scary. I wouldn't like to keep messing with those type of positions, but to each his own. So after D6, C3, castle, H3, we're back. The game Tal won in game 7. He played D4 here, just playing a little sideline. Again, Gligoric didn't lose because of the opening, but he just lost. He made a blunder later on down the road. So anyway, back to the main line, H3, and here Smyslov chooses one of the several moves attributed to Smyslov, which is H6. Again, as I explained in another video, there's a lot of moves attributed to Smyslov. Another one is just Queen D7 here. Queen D7 is attributed to Smyslov. Also, the move 3G6 is the also known as the Smyslov variation. So I don't want anybody messaging me telling me, "Oh, that's not Smyslov. This is Smyslov." What happened is the Russians, in their era of dominance, from about the 1940s all the way up until the 90s, they basically named every single opening that could possibly be played in chess. So every opening, was named after some type of Soviet or Russian player. Whether it's the Smyslov variation, Botvinnik variation, Karpov, Zaitsev variation, Bondarevsky variation, whatever it was named after some kind of former Soviet Union bloc player or a Russian player. So whether it's accurate or not, or whether they even played it or not. What's interesting about some of these names is that some of the players didn't even play the variations. For instance, the Breyer variation in the Rui Lopez, which takes place after this move here, knight b8. There's not even any games documented of where Breyer played this. He merely recommended it, and he's given this name. If anybody should you should put a name on it, maybe Spassky. Spassky's the one that actually played it and actually is the reason why it had came into prominence because he had used it against Tal in their candidates match. And I think it was the 65 candidates match. And I think he beat Tal 2 times with the black pieces in the Breyer variation. So, and that's, from there, it's popular and still used to this day. So if you're going to put a name on it open, that should be one. But anyway, I digress, don't I? H6, here we go. Game 9. Tal with the white pieces, Gligoric, black pieces, Smyslov variation of the Roy Lopez. D4, Rook E8. Again, this plan is real simple. H6 keeps the knight from going to G5 for white. So after the rook moves, there's no challenge to the F7 square. So the same plan, Rook E8, Bishop F8. But without having to deal with the nuisance of knight G5. Other variations tend to without h6, for instance, bishop b7, the Zaitsev or Karpov-Zaitsev variation, um, they allow this move. So, for instance, after d4, rook e8, knight g5 is a quick drawing option. So, for instance, knight g5, black really has no choice but to go back. Normally, the white player is not trying to draw, but this leads to different positions. It saves the tempo and initiates the attack here. And of course, the plan is the same to play bishop f8 and then threaten to take on d4. And with the bishop on b7, it adds extra firepower to the e4 square. h6 eliminates the knight g5 possibility, but again, the downside is as follows. One, weakens the king side somewhat. Right? Later on, there might be a sacrifice on h6, something to that matter. It facilitates the king side attacking chances of white, right? No matter how you look at it. Two, it does take time to do a move, so that facilitates white's plan of playing knight b to d2 to f1 and to e3 or g3. So again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So you got to choose. All right, h6, d4, rook e8, knight b d2, bishop f8. Here we go, knight f1, bishop b7, and knight g3. And you can see these different plans coming together. It helps your chess a lot when you have the understanding like why the moves are being done. It helps a lot as far as speed and all that. You won't be getting in time trouble because you got a grip on things. Bishop c2, knight c4. Okay, Tal plays this move, bishop d3 here. The knight hops out, b6, bishop d2, and now c5. Okay, now white closes the center, and I'll play that is definitely complex, and usually will drift to the flanks at this point because there's no more play in the center. The play is going to be on the flanks. So bishop comes back to c8. There's no reason to be on the diagonal, right? It's blocked up. Knight h2. Knight a4. So we see white playing on the king side, black on the queen side. Rook b1, bishop d7, b3, knight b6, c4. Of course, white is taking precautions on the queen side and trying to neutralize black's queen side counterplay. That way he could just concentrate on the other side of the board, right? So rook b8, f4, b takes, and now knight a4. Queen c2 from Tal. E takes, bishop takes f4, and rook b4. Bishop d2. And here, Gligoric plays queen c1. He's willing to part with the exchange. So bishop takes, very bold move. Bishop takes b4, c takes b4, and I like it that he gets these connected pawns here, and then he has this additional target to attack. He also has use of the c5 square if needed. All right. Rook f1, so he does have compensation for the exchange. In these type of positions where it's closed, the rooks aren't as valuable. It's hard to utilize them. So sometimes in these middle game positions, there's absolutely nothing wrong with giving up in exchange. The minor pieces are really what's important in these type of structures, in these situations. Bishop e7, king h1, a5, connecting those pawns, make sure everything's good. Queen d2, and now the knight goes to a powerful square on c5. Bishop c2, bishop d8, rook e1, b-e1 from Tal. Okay, knight f3, knight fd7, and these moves are often the backbreaker type moves here because, again, you have the queen on c7, knight on d7, pawn on d6, and the rook on e8. So you say, just on a preliminary glance, hey, there's no way white should be able to play e5 here, but e5, and you're like, what the heck? Right, classic pawn sacrifice. So e5, knight takes e5, queen f4. Right, classic positional pawn sacrifice. It clears the way for the bishop on c2. You see the bishop right now on c2, how it's blocked by this pawn. Well, instead of allowing uh, allowing black to play, knight d5 and f6 and just has this, big fortress, he gives up the pawn. Right now, he will have play. All right, so after rook e7, knight d4, knight e d3, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, queen e4, knight c6, takes, takes, and queen e5. White starts to show an advantage in the position because now with the open files, the rook can now be felt. All right, it's gonna be difficult to stop the passed pawns, and now the rook shows its supremacy. d5, and this is pretty much all she wrote. Of course, not this would be a blunder because rook c3 check, winning the bishop. F5, and of course, there's no stopping this. That pawn right there is just a killer, and just a clean sweep right here. And Tal won this game. So brilliant, end game play by Tal. I like the pawn sacrifice a lot. The position, he didn't let white get that blockade. Excuse me, black get that blockade in like he wanted to. Trying to think, maybe. Yeah, at this point, e5 is coming. Bishop a4 maybe. Yeah, this exchange sacrifice was very bold on Gligoric's behalf. I like that move. Also possible, of course, was just rook takes b1, rook takes b1, and queen c8. And maybe knight f5 or something like that. And white still has, small advantage there. But it's hard to pinpoint an exact moment where white really took over. I mean, because I do like the exchange sacrifice on Gligoric. He gets a lot of play for that. Right, he gets a good play for that. I'm just trying to think of where he might have messed up after that. Maybe instead of, maybe instead of knight c5 here, maybe knight c3. Maybe just coming in on the low right here. See, but then I'm looking at this, and then white can always return the favor. But this is, I'm gonna go with this recommendation right here. Probably knight c3 instead, and then if rook b3, you keep black from, playing rook takes c3. Just move the knight back here maybe. All right, so let's say knight f3, then knight c5, right? Something to that nature with complex play. It's definitely unclear. It's definitely unclear. Um, it's hard to knock Gligoric's play. He just ran into some inspired play at this time. Another idea too here is bishop d8 was played. Maybe bishop c8 with the idea of coming here attacking this guy. So bishop c8, for instance, and let's say line up on the f file, so this guy can't move because of queen takes f7. And let's say bishop f8 maybe. Knight f3. Interesting position here. Definitely chances. Um, Definitely chances for white on the king side, and knight fd7 maybe. And I think black's compensation is in the fact that he has these strong squares on c5 and e5, along with the pawns on a5 and b4 for his pieces, and along with having the bishop here. So there's a lot of dynamic dynamics in this position. So good game by both players, and again, this beautiful idea right here with this e5 common, common theme, this positional sacrifice. But I love the timing of it, and I love how it disrupted the position of Gligoric. Because basically this sacrifice forced the basically his rooks to come alive, because that's what it was. The exchange sacrifice kept the black rooks, the white rooks, kind of dead, and then the e5 sacrifice by Tal kind of forced things to be open, and now he has a position where his rook can shine, and that's what he needed. And now that rook on f1 is a monster. You can see everything's traded off, and now look at the rook. So that's basically the story of the game. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys on the next video.